Sheila Carter's reign of terror has haunted the bold and the beautiful for decades, with her manipulative schemes, deadly vendettas, and unpredictable nature leaving a permanent mark on the lives of the Forresters, Logans, and Spencers. But now, to the surprise and skepticism of everyone, Sheila seems reformed. After years of destruction, she's making claims of turning over a new leaf, ready to leave behind her psychopathic tendencies, at least for the moment. Yet, as Sheila softens, or pretends to, there's a new force of chaos brewing in town. Could Loony Luna, the enigmatic newcomer with her own hidden agenda, be the one to fill Sheila's dangerous shoes? And if so, just how dangerous could she become? Sheila's unlikely redemption arc. First, let's address the elephant in the room, Sheila Carter. The idea of Sheila reforming seems laughable to anyone familiar with her history. From shooting her own son Finn, to terrorizing Brooke Logan, to trying to hold her rival Stephanie Forrester hostage multiple times, Sheila has done it all. But lately, something has changed in Sheila. Her latest storyline has taken a bizarre twist, showing a woman who claims to have recognized the error of her ways, ready to atone for her past sins. Is it real? Can Sheila, the villain whose very name sparks fear in the hearts of everyone in Los Angeles, truly change? Many doubt it, and rightly so. But as Sheila keeps up her good behavior, others in her orbit are cautiously watching. With her new stance on life, Sheila's trying to show that she can coexist with the Forresters and the rest of LA without destruction following in her wake. Still, there's an eerie calm in the air. Just when it seems like Sheila may have stepped back from her place as the town's most feared criminal, another woman has entered the scene, and her peculiar behavior is raising more than a few red flags. Who is Loony Luna? Luna, full name Luna Delgado, arrived in Los Angeles recently, under the guise of an aspiring fashion designer working her way into Forrester Creations. With her quirky and somewhat eccentric personality, Luna quickly caught the attention of the Forrester family, especially Thomas and Steffi, who are always on the lookout for new talent. At first glance, she seemed harmless, just a bubbly, free-spirited woman with a dream. But Luna's erratic behavior and increasingly bizarre outbursts have caused some to wonder if there's more to her story than meets the eye. From disappearing for hours without explanation to showing an unsettling fixation on key figures in the Forrester family, Luna is slowly revealing herself to be a woman with a deeply troubled past. As she ingratiates herself further into Forrester Creations, cracks in her sunny exterior begin to show. She's prone to moments of intense mood swings, going from charming and enthusiastic to cold and calculating in the blink of an eye. People are starting to talk. Is Luna simply a quirky artist, or is there something far more sinister bubbling beneath the surface? Sheila's shadow looms large, while Luna's odd behavior becomes more noticeable. Comparisons to Sheila Carter become inevitable. After all, Sheila herself arrived on the scene with a seemingly innocent enough backstory, working as a nurse at Forrester Creations, and slowly infiltrating the lives of the Forrester family. Her manipulation and subsequent descent into madness took time to reveal themselves, but once Sheila's true nature came out, it unleashed a wave of chaos that would haunt the Forresters for years. Luna's trajectory seems eerily similar. She's not after money or power, at least not in the traditional sense. Luna's obsession seems to lie in gaining acceptance and control over the people around her, a trait that fans of the show will recognize in Sheila's early behavior. But unlike Sheila, who wears her malevolence like armor, Luna's instability is more erratic, and that makes her unpredictable. Just as the Forresters are starting to feel a rare moment of peace, could Luna be poised to take over as the next big threat, stepping into Sheila's role as the show's ultimate antagonist? A hidden agenda. As Luna's peculiarities continue to emerge, whispers of a hidden agenda circulate among the characters in The Bold and the Beautiful. The most disturbing theory: that Luna's arrival is no accident. Some speculate that she has a personal vendetta against the Forrester family, though her motives remain murky. Could she be connected to someone from the Forresters' past? Or worse, could she be a plant? Someone sent to infiltrate Forrester Creations for reasons more sinister than just fashion. Yuna's behavior has also caught the attention of Steffi, whose natural instincts tell her something isn't quite right. Steffi, always on guard after years of dealing with the likes of Shayla, starts investigating Yuna's background, hoping to uncover the truth before could send shockwaves through Forrester Creations. There are rumors that Yuna has been spotted at various mental health facilities in the past, undergoing treatment for severe emotional instability. Moreover, her connections to some unsavory figures in the fashion world hint at a dark past she's desperately trying to keep hidden. Could Yuna be using Forrester Creations as a cover for something far more dangerous? The rise of a new villain? While Shayla Carter's reformation keeps the town in suspense, Yuna's gradual descent into madness is painting her as the next true villain of The Bold and the Beautiful. But what makes Yuna even more dangerous than Shayla is her unpredictability. Shayla, for all her cruelty, was always driven by clear goals: revenge, power, control. Yuna, on the other hand, seems driven by a mix of erratic desires, making her capable of anything at any moment. In recent episodes, Yuna's behavior has escalated to include more manipulative tactics. She's been seen eavesdropping on private conversations, stealing design ideas, and even gaslighting. The world of The Bold and the Beautiful has always been about family dynamics, ambition, and high-stakes drama. And at the center of it all is Bill Spencer, a man whose larger-than-life persona has cast a long shadow over his children. While his older sons, Liam and Wyatt, have carved their own paths, sometimes clashing with their father, it's Bill's youngest, Will Spencer, who's set to present him with one of his greatest challenges yet. Will, once the bright, ambitious, and precocious child, destined to follow in his father's business empire, is now on the verge of choosing a very different path. And it's one that Bill may not be ready to accept. The prodigal son's new direction. As Will matures into a young man, it becomes clear that he's no longer the boy who idolized his father's powerful presence and corporate empire. For years, Bill had envisioned his youngest son taking up the mantle at Spencer Publications, molding Will into his successor to one day run the billion-dollar business. Bill had always been the type of father to push his children toward greatness, instilling in them a drive for success and an appetite for control. Will, however, has other ideas. Recently, Will has started showing a deep passion for environmental activism, a far cry from the ruthless business world his father inhabits. While Spencer Publications deals in media, real estate, and other industries where profit and power come first, Will has grown increasingly concerned with climate change, conservation, and social justice. His desire to make a positive impact on the world has taken precedence over the cutthroat ambition his father once tried to instill in him. At first, Bill assumed that this was just a phase, something Will would eventually grow out of. But as time passes, Will's commitment to his new path only deepens. He starts attending rallies, joining environmental organizations, and even considering a career in law or activism to fight for causes he cares about. This new direction is completely out of sync with Bill's expectations, and tensions between father and son start to rise. Bill's struggle to understand for Bill Spencer, the idea that one of his children wouldn't want to follow in his footsteps, is almost unfathomable. Liam and Wyatt, despite their differences, have both been involved in the family business in one way or another, even when their morals clashed with Bill's more aggressive tactics. But Will's path is diverging so far from the corporate world that Bill feels a growing sense of frustration and, in truth, fear. Bill has always seen himself as the patriarch who knows what's best for his family, and he prides himself on being able to shape their futures. So when Will starts voicing his desire to pursue activism, Bill dismisses it at first, trying to pull his son back into the family fold. Spencer men don't waste time with pipe dreams, Bill tells him during one particularly heated conversation. We build empires. We make things happen. But Will, No longer the young boy eager to please his father, stands his ground. "I don't want to just make things happen for the sake of money, Dad," he replies. "I want to make a difference." This moment marks a turning point for Bill. He realizes that his usual tactics of persuasion, bribery, intimidation, and his trademark charisma aren't working on Will. His son is committed to a cause that Bill doesn't fully understand or respect, and it's starting to dawn on him that he can't control Will's future the way he always envisioned. Katie's influence. In the midst of this father-son struggle, Katie Logan, Will's mother, plays a pivotal role. Katie, who has always been the more grounded and empathetic parent, sees the value in Will's passion and tries to serve as a bridge between him and Bill. She knows how important it is for Will to follow his heart, and she encourages him to pursue his dreams, even if they don't align with Bill's vision. During one emotional conversation with Bill, Katie points out the deeper issue at play. "You're not upset that Will wants to help people. You're upset because you're afraid of losing him. But Bill, you can't control his life." Bill, however, has a hard time admitting this to himself. To him, Will's rejection of the business world feels like a rejection of him personally. It challenges the legacy Bill has spent his entire life building, and it leaves him questioning whether he's done something wrong as a father. Katie's words plant a seed of reflection in Bill, but he's still not ready to fully embrace Will's new path. A father's reckoning. As the tension between Bill and Will escalates, there's a key moment when Bill's facade cracks. Will, feeling increasingly suffocated by his father's expectations, announces that he's taking a gap year after high school to travel abroad and work with environmental organizations. This decision stuns Bill, who had assumed that Will would go straight to college and then start working at Spencer Publications. "What are you doing, Will? Throwing away your future?" Bill asks, his voice tight with frustration and concern. "I'm not throwing it away," Will responds, his voice calm but firm. "I'm choosing my own future." Bill is left speechless, grappling with the reality that his son is walking a path that he can't control. He realizes that pushing Will harder will only push him further away, and for the first time in his life, Bill Spencer, the man who always gets what he wants, is faced with something he can't force into submission: his son's independence. The path forward. In the weeks that follow, Bill's inner turmoil is evident to those around him. He confides in Brooke Logan, his longtime confidant, about his fears of losing Will. Brooke, ever wise, reminds him that loving a child means supporting them, even when their choices don't align with our own. This advice resonates with Bill. While it's not in his nature to admit defeat, he starts to understand that this isn't about winning or losing. It's about letting his son grow into his own person. In a heartfelt moment, Bill approaches Will and, for the first time, truly listens to what his son has to say. They sit down, not as father and son locked in a battle of wills, but as two individuals. Bill still doesn't fully understand Will's passion for activism, but he starts to see that his son's determination and drive are things to be admired, even if they're not directed toward the family business. "I don't get it," Bill admits, his voice soft but sincere. "But I'm proud of you for standing up for what you believe in." Will smiles, recognizing that this is as close to approval as he's going to get from his father. It's enough for now. What's next for Bill and Will? While Bill Spencer may never fully embrace his son's unconventional path, this moment of understanding marks a new chapter in their relationship. As Will continues to pursue his passion for activism, Bill will have to learn to let go of his need to control and trust that his son will find his way. The bond between father and son may be tested, but in the end, Bill's love for Will guide him toward acceptance, no matter how difficult the journey might be. Steffy Forrester is a woman known for her fierce independence and loyalty to her family, but her recent foray into matchmaking has been stirring up more trouble than she anticipated. As she attempts to set the stage for her loved one's happiness, it becomes clear that her well-meaning intentions might be leading everyone down a path of chaos. And now, it seems, Steffi's heart is shifting as she reconsiders her role in manipulating the love lives of those around her. The setup: Steffi's matchmaking mission. Steffi initially stepped into her role as matchmaker with a noble purpose. After watching her brother Thomas struggle to regain trust after his tumultuous relationship with Hope Logan, she felt the need to guide him toward a fresh start. In Steffi's eyes, Thomas had done his time in the shadows of his mistakes and deserved a second chance at love, this time with someone who could bring out the best in him. Enter Paris Buckingham, a woman with a bubbly, open heart and a connection to the Forrester family. At the same time, Steffi had been quietly observing the slow disintegration of her father Ridge Forrester's marriage to Brooke Logan. Ridge and Brooke's on-again, off-again love story has spanned decades, but the cracks in their foundation have become impossible to ignore. As their arguments grow more intense and frequent, Steffi can't help but wonder if her father would be better off with someone else. Perhaps someone like Taylor Hayes, her mother. Fueled by these thoughts, Steffi begins her matchmaking quest, hoping to usher her loved ones into new and fulfilling relationships. But things don't go as smoothly as she imagined. Unexpected complications. The problem with playing matchmaker is that it often disregards the complexities of human emotion, and Steffi soon finds herself caught in the web of love, jealousy, and heartache. Thomas, while flattered by Paris's attention, isn't sure if his heart is ready to move on from Hope. He appreciates Paris's optimism and warmth, but he can't shake the lingering feelings he has for his former muse. Despite Steffi's push for him to embrace this new chapter, Thomas is hesitant, and Steffi begins to notice that her brother's heart may still be tethered to the past in ways she didn't fully understand. Meanwhile, Ridge's interactions with Taylor have been reigniting old flames, and Steffi's efforts to push her parents back together seem to be working on the surface. However, the more she sees her father drift from Brooke, the more conflicted Steffi becomes. She starts to wonder if manipulating the situation is really the right thing to do. Ridge's life has always been complicated, but Brooke is a major part of that, and while Steffi may have her reservations about Brooke's commitment, she knows deep down that their connection is something she can't simply erase. The turning point comes during a heart-to-heart with her mother, Taylor. Steffi, feeling the weight of her meddling, confesses to Taylor that she's been actively trying to push Ridge toward her, hoping for a family reunion of sorts. Taylor, who has grown wiser over the years, gently reminds Steffi that love can't be forced, even if the intentions are pure. Your father has to make his own decisions, Taylor says, her eyes filled with both understanding and concern. If he comes back to me, it has to be because that's what's truly in his heart, not because you or anyone else thinks it's the right thing to do. This conversation strikes a chord with Steffi. She starts to reflect on her role in orchestrating the romantic lives of her family and realizes that her interference might be doing more harm than good. While she only wanted to see her loved ones happy, she begins to understand that true happiness must come from genuine choices, not from a carefully constructed scenario. Steffi's change of heart. In the days following her conversation with Taylor, Steffi makes a bold decision to step back. She approaches both Thomas and Ridge, letting them know that she's no longer going to push them toward relationships they may not be ready for or desire deep down. With Thomas, Steffi is compassionate but direct. I wanted you to have a fresh start, Thomas, but I realize now that you need to follow your own heart in your own time. Whether that's with Paris or someone else, or even Hope, that's for you to decide. Thomas, grateful for his sister's understanding, feels a weight lift off his shoulders. He appreciates her support, but is relieved that he's no longer being steered in a direction that doesn't feel right to him. As for Ridge, Steffi admits that she had been trying to push him back toward Taylor, but now she sees that whatever happens with his marriage to Brooke, it's something only he can resolve. Ridge listens intently and reassures Steffi that, no matter what, he values her support and her desire for the family to be united. But his heart will ultimately lead him where it's meant to go. A new outlook. Steffi's change of heart comes with a renewed sense of peace. By stepping back, She realizes that she's allowing her family members the space they need to make their own decisions, free from her influence. This shift doesn't mean she cares any less or won't be there when they need her, but she's learned a valuable lesson in letting go and trusting that love, in all its messiness, must take its own course. As Steffi embraces this new mindset, she also starts to focus more on her own happiness. After all, with her husband Finn by her side, she's reminded that real love is built on mutual respect and personal choice, not on forced connections or misguided attempts to fix things from the outside. What's next for Steffi? Steffi's decision to stop playing matchmaker is sure to have ripple effects across the canvas of the bold and the beautiful. Without her interference, Thomas will have to face his unresolved feelings for Hope, while Paris might find herself pursuing a different path altogether, and Ridge's future with Brooke or Taylor remains uncertain, but at least now it will be determined by his own heart, not by his daughter's well-intentioned schemes. Steffi's journey of self-reflection marks a pivotal moment for the Forrester family, and as the dust settles, one thing is clear: love will find its way, even without her guiding hand.